Welcome to Formula One.
It's Formula 1 for 2015. As of the previous game, don't expect it to be long. Might even be just a single trial episode. Because as I said, I see that the games are okay, like for a fan of Formula 1 racing. I'm pretty sure they will catch many nice things and like attention to detail and whatnot. But I'm just like, I prefer racing games that offer me a wider plethora of different races, car types and whatnot. So I'm gonna just give it a short try and then we will move on. I am playing on ultra high.
Welcome to Championship Season, where you'll become one of the elite on the grid vying for success. Now it's your turn. Travel the world and take part in the ultimate racing event. This is Championship Season mode. Round one of the Formula One season begins today with practice here in a wet Melbourne. The teams will put behind them the issues from pre-season testing. What matters now is what the teams do this weekend. Joining me in the commentary box this season is Anthony Davidson. The teams will be visiting tracks across 5 continents as they battle it out for both the drivers and the constructors' championships. What race on the calendar do you think the teams will have a special eye on this year?
Well, I think the teams will be looking forward to the Mexican Grand Prix, which is being held back at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. It was last run way back in 1992.
This year sees Honda return to the sport, reforming one of the greatest partnerships in F1 history with McLaren. Do you think they can rekindle the success they had during the 80s and the 90s?
It won't be easy, but yes, I think so. It's been a tough few years for McLaren with the loss of Hamilton, Mercedes withdrawing as a shareholder and major investor in the team, and losing technical director Paddy Lowe. This could mark the start of their return to prominence.
Okay, Jeff here. Radio check seems good. Before we get started, I just want to tell you how much I'm looking forward to working with you. Your success is my success, so let's give it our all. If you need anything, just let me know. Intermediate tyres are your best bet in the current conditions. All set. Everyone clear? Car to track. this track. Albert Park has a lot of tricky high-speed corners. Turn 1 is a good example, and also the left, right through 11 and 12, where you need to be as daring as you can with the entry speed. Lap of the session so far. Valtteri is currently P5. How's the car feeling? Don't be afraid to come in and change your setup. That's what practice is for. We want to be quick, but we also want to be comfortable and consistent. Let's find that balance. Are in the optimum temperature zone. kilos of fuel.
That's practice over, and it's Felipe Massa who's topping the timesheet with a really impressive lap in the Williams. Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. We'll soon learn the true performance of these cars out on track. What can we expect to see in the following session?
Well, I think we're all expecting the Mercedes power unit to be particularly strong this year, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them at the front. But I wouldn't discount Red Bull or Ferrari just yet. We know they have the talent and the resources to react to any problem, so although they may be playing catch-up, I would expect them to bring some major upgrades pretty early, maybe before we even get back to Europe.
Felipe Massa has finished this qualifying session on top as the fastest driver. It means the Brazilian starts the race tomorrow on pole position.
He's certainly going to be leading the charge from the front. And if he can get through the first couple of laps without any issues, he could be difficult to beat based on today's performance.
The crowd are here and here in force for what is going to be a fantastic day of racing. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. It's Felipe Massa who's on pole for today's race after setting a blistering time yesterday. It really looks like the Williams team have something special with this year's car.
It's difficult to predict how a season can start for each of the teams, but as Felipe showed in qualifying, they certainly have the pace for this weekend. A Williams hasn't won here since 1996 with Damon Hill. How they would love to repeat that again today.
So what would you have been doing overnight if you were Lewis Hamilton to make up the time difference that he needs to make up based on yesterday's qualifying times?
He clearly has a pretty good balance in the car. He just needs to work out where he can squeeze an extra tenth or two to make up the difference.
Okay, remember to protect the inside on the run down to turn 1. Make yourself as wide as possible, robust but fair. To remain dry for a while. We will update you if the outlook changes. DRS is being enabled this lap.
Enjoyable riding. The game looks fine. I just like riding 15 laps on the same track. When we did practice when there's qualifying, it's just too much for me. It's just, this type of racing is just not for me. Oh well, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time for something else. Later.